Vacuum pumping is a very underutilized tool for men's health. In this video, I'm going to tell you why. But before I do, subscribe to the channel, like the video if you haven't already, and comment on the video for the sake of the algorithm. Now let's get started. First of all, who is vacuum pumping for? People who have short-term erectile dysfunction. It can attenuate the erectile dysfunction and limit the damage that the erectile dysfunction causes you in the long term. Second, people who really care about sex. Pumping can dramatically improve erectile function and dramatically improve sensations from sex and so on. And third, people who have smaller penises. Pumping has been shown academically and empirically to enlarge the penis with long-term use. So let's talk a little bit about this academic research briefly. Pumping is extremely effective at attenuating erectile dysfunction, irrespective of the etiology, which means the cause of the erectile dysfunction. It's effective in about 90% of patients. In fact, even patients who have had penile implants that have then been removed find that pumping improves their erectile function. In fact, in one study, 55% of patients that had had their penile implants removed found that pumping was more effective than the penile implants in the first place. If you want to learn more about these studies, check out this review paper. Second, pumping increases penis size. In fact, in one study combining PRP with pumping on over 1,000 Indian males found dramatic improvements in penis size over a year-long period. Finally, even people with Peyronie's disease, which is a disease of fibrotic plaques developing around the penis that cause extreme curvature of the penis. Even people with Peyronie's disease have found improvements in the curvature of their penis and erectile dysfunction from vacuum pumping. Now, how does pumping work exactly? Well, first of all, we have to keep in mind this really useful concept that you can think of in biology, which is that if you don't use something in your body, you lose it. The penis is adapted to getting engorged with blood daily. This is part of the role of morning erections, for example. And when it doesn't get engorged with blood as much as it normally does, it atrophies. Blood contains not only nutrients, but growth factors that are directly involved in maintaining the health of the penis. And so if you increase the blood dispersal to the penis with pumping, it's sort of simulating overusing your penis. You get an unusual amount of growth factors to the penis, which, for example, vascular endothelial growth factor, which circulates in your blood. The increase of vascular endothelial growth factor, VEGF, to the penis should in the end cause an increase in angiogenesis, which means the creation of new blood vessels in the penis. This will then in turn improve erectile quality. Not only will the angiogenesis improve erectile quality, but it will also increase the size of the penis. Imagine you have a body part that is naturally filled with blood, and now you have much better blood vessel quality in that body part. Automatically it will enlarge slightly. In addition, there are other growth factors in blood like nerve growth factor that are important for the health of our peripheral nerves, and an excess of these growth factors may improve nerve signaling in peripheral body parts. What a lot of people notice from vacuum pumping in the long term is that they experience enhanced sensation and pleasure from sex. And this is likely due to actual improvements in nerve connections in the penis. Finally, and I'm not sure how much this really has to do with the overall impacts of pumping in the long term, but pumping seems to improve elasticity of the tissue in the penis. And this may play some role in the enlargements of penis size that people experience. In addition to having more blood and more blood vessels, the tissue may be slightly more elastic and therefore susceptible to expansion. Now, how did I come across pumping? Well, throughout my life, I've always tried to be the best that I could be at whatever I did. And when I was younger, I was quite interested in sex and sexual performance. So in around 2007 or 8, I joined a forum online, actually may have been 2007, that was called Thunder's Place. Thunder's Place used to be the premier online forum for penis enlargement or male sexual health discussions. Originally, when I had joined, at the time, people on Thunder's Place believed that vacuum pumping did not produce true penile size gains, that they were only temporary. And we thought at the time that hanging and clamping and jelqing produced permanent gains while pumping didn't. In around 2009 or so, some users of the Thunder's Place forum realized that they could pump without a pumping machine. Well, just to explain, how the pumping device normally exists is that there's a cylinder attached to a tube that then attached to a pumping machine that actually pumps the vacuum into the cylinder. What they discovered was removing that machine, which usually costs $80 or so, so that's a big price saving. Removing that machine and just using the cylinder with the replacement hose, they were able to use water instead of air to create a vacuum inside the pump that was safer for the penis. It caused less blistering, had less extreme vacuums in it. It also made it easier to use because you didn't need to use lube like if you're air pumping, and it delivered better heat dispersal. So I tried pumping and clamping and hanging and various other things for a period of years, and then I stopped doing all PE for about 10 years. So this allowed me the opportunity to see what was really permanent, to reflect back on my experiences, and to make a better conclusion about the impact of the different exercises on my sexual health, on penis size, on erectile quality, and so on. Looking back, I value pumping more than any other exercise I did, except maybe hanging, but that had less benefits overall. It just increased length in a sort of permanent sense. Looking back, I realized that the pumping gains were only temporary because they involved angiogenesis, the creation of new blood vessels. And this is something that is really attractive for someone interested in their sexual performance. Of all the gains that I got from penis enlargement exercises, the pumping gains were the ones that most influenced my sexual performance and health because of the responsiveness of the penis, the sensations, and so on. To be honest, if I really cared about my sex life, I would probably go back to pumping moderately every week just to maintain health of the penile tissue. And if I ever encountered erectile dysfunction due to using a certain drug or psychological episodes or something like that, I would automatically start using my pump to limit the damage that occurs to my penis due to the erectile dysfunction. Just so you guys know, as you can see in finasteride studies on rodents, reduced blood flow to the penis actually causes apoptosis of cells in the corpus cavernosum of the penis. Finasteride blocks some androgenic signaling, and signaling at the androgen receptor in the penis increases endothelial nitric oxide synthase, dilating the blood vessels. So I believe it's the reduction in blood flow to the penis that actually causes the death of cells in the rodents' penises in finasteride studies. And this is the purpose of using water pumping if someone experienced short-term erectile dysfunction, to limit this damage that could occur. Now, say you want to get started water pumping. What do you need? You need a cylinder and replacement hose from a pumping manufacturer. The one that I like the most, I bought their pumps 4 times over the years, is LA Pump. What's wonderful is that in my last video on PE, somehow the guys at LA Pump saw that video and made a discount code for my viewers for their website. And it's LONGLEO, LONGLEO. So anyway, this company though is really great. I bought my cylinder from them several times, even the pumping machine when I used to air pump in the beginning. They're really great. What I recommend from them is the normal cylinder pump, which you have to measure yourself to figure out what size. You may need a couple of sizes when you get started. There's a lot of details that we could discuss, but I'm going to try to keep it general. You need a cylinder and you need a replacement hose, which costs about $3. Just two things to buy from there. You also might want to get an infrared lamp and set that up near your computer, because while pumping, unfortunately, you have to watch porn, so you'll need to be around a computer. And finally, you may want an all-day stretcher, particularly if you're interested in size gains from the pumping, but we should really discuss that in another video in the future. So here's my advice. First, you can go to LA Pump and order the items you need. Second, I would go to Google and search the words Thunder's Place with an apostrophe S, Thunder's Place, water pumping. Go find the threads from 2008, 2009, where the people on the forum originally created water pumping. You'll learn how to do it pretty easily. I figured it out there 10 years ago, and you can too. It's a little bit hard to explain here in a video for people that have not already tried it. Once you get your pump and try it, you'll understand a lot better the instructions on how to water pump. In addition to that, here are some tips from somebody that has a lot of experience in this field. First of all, when you begin pumping, your penis will adapt to the pressure, to the blood flow, to a lot of other things. Before it's adapted, you don't want to put too much stress on it. What I would do is never pump more than every other day for the first couple of months, and never pump more than 20 minutes each time for the first couple of months. I would really start with around 5 minutes or so until I feel really adapted and don't notice any kind of trauma in the penis afterwards. A general rule of thumb: if your morning erections decline, you're pumping probably too much. If your morning erections improve, you're pumping the right amount. We used to call these positive indicators, and they are very useful to use in your journey. First of all, you want to be as erect as possible when you seal the vacuum in the pump. Second of all, you want to maintain your erection by moving the cylinder slightly up and down while using it. Third of all, if you can't get erect because you have erectile dysfunction, worry not. Even pumping with a semi of some kind that forces lymphatic fluids into the penis and creates some mild form of edema will eventually improve your blood flow, and you'll be able to eventually get hard in the pump. And finally, a comment regarding heat. The warmer the water that you use while pumping, the better. And if you can use an infrared lamp next to your desk shining on the pump, even better. The warmer your body is there, the faster it'll expand and the more you'll get out of the time you use pumping. Anyway, guys, I hope this was an interesting video for all of you. I really think pumping is underutilized by the community. I frequently get consultations from people that are struggling with erectile dysfunction due to finasteride or due to drug use or due to other things. And I always recommend, no matter what else they're doing, that they get blood flow to the penis as quickly as possible. And pumping is really the best way to do that. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me, and I hope to see you again soon.